This is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
It is ATL Day Ones, and I am Jarvis, and she's Tanitra. Tanitra, I don't know about you, but it is a good day, and I'm feeling a little jumpy. I'm ready to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, as long as we are above ground, it's a great day.
It is. We are above ground. We are breathing and alive, and we got a lot of good stuff on board today. The Atlanta Falcons, what should they do with that 8th overall pick? I'm going to tell you what they shouldn't do. But before we get there, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor, Shady Rays. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that gives you the features of $200 sunglasses. I love $200 sunglasses. I had a lot of them in college. Don't tell me where I got the money from. But for a fraction of the price. That means polarized lenses, well-constructed durable frames, and premium high-end finishes. Also, something you won't find anywhere else is Shady Rays' insane protection program. Let me tell you about this thing. Nobody else is doing this. Shady Rays includes lost and broken protection on every pair. I've lost so many pairs of sunglasses, even those $200 ones. I'm still mad about that. They will send you a brand new pair if you lose them, no matter what happens. Give them a try, and if you don't love them, you'll pay nothing. It's as simple as that. Plus, 10 meals are donated to fight hunger in America when you shop with Shady Rays.
Love it.
Exclusively for you all, our viewers, our listeners. Head to shadyrays.com and use code LOCKEDON. That's locked on to get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's code locked on for the best deal. You're not going to find this anywhere.
No.
And 50% off 2 or more pairs of Shady Rays sunglasses, backed by over 150,000 verified 5-star reviews. I don't know where you're going to get that type of validity from, but Shady Rays is the place to go to. I'm telling you, I might have to go get me a pair right now.
Yeah, especially as we approach summer, right?
Yes, it is. It is going to be a hot girl / hot boy summer. We're going to find out if the Falcons going to have a hot boy summer, because this NFL draft is coming up on us, T, and it is here. We are in April, the beginning of April, and we know what happens at the end of April. And the Falcons have the 8th overall pick, and there have been a lot of conversations about where they should go. But my thing is, just to kind of start things off, what do you think Terry Fontenot's mindset should be when you think about who he should draft at that spot?
Yeah, I really, really hope his mind is on defense. I really hope his mind is on defense. Whether you look at the D-line, I think they've done fine in the secondary. So let me be a little bit more specific. I think they've done fine in the offseason to shore up the secondary. What I'm really looking at is that linebacker core and looking at the D-line and who is going to help Grady in the trenches, because Grady needs some help, especially as you mentioned, what we've talked about before with the departure. When you look, holistically across the 7, when you lose players like Foye Oluokun, you have to do something about those holes. And I just feel like there needs to be some help. There needs to be some attention. I don't know. It seems like for this franchise, the defensive side of the ball is like the redheaded stepchild.
Right.
in the early rounds. So I really would like them to take seriously the possibility of going defense, because the other piece there is as well, even as recently as this week, you add another wide receiver to the wide receiver room. You add another running back to the running back room, and you're adding pieces to both of those rooms who can actually go both ways. They can give you they're pass catchers as running backs, and in the case of Cordero Patterson, a receiver who can also run very, very well and give you power running, especially if you're in a 3rd and short situation, for example. So again, I would really like to see Terry Fontenot's mindset be about defense, especially at that number 8 spot.
I wholeheartedly agree with defensively, but let me tell you about a guy, because I've done my research, T, You know me. You know how I get down when it comes draft time. I like to get my eyes on guys, right? I
Yes.
like to kind of like dive into the tape as
Mhm,
though all
mhm.
those draft cliches you hear around this time of year. So there's a guy that I've been seeing flying up draft boards, Travon
Yes.
Walker, right? You
Yes.
know, the guy, defensive end out of Georgia. And, you know, he's a versatile guy. He's
Mhm.
super duper athletic.
Yes.
You can see how he tore up the combine and everything like that. And people are just fawning all over this guy. And I'm
Yes.
saying, but my thing is, right, at the end of the day, the combine should confirm or deny what you've already seen.
Mhm.
And if a player does so well at the combine,
Mhm.
it makes you go back to the tape. I'm sketchy. That's a red flag for me
Mhm.
because when you think about a guy who had 2.5 sacks in 19,
Mhm.
1 sack in 2020, 6 sacks in 2021, and you talking about this guy going to top 5, I've gone to
Yeah.
three different mock drafts,
Mhm.
and they got him third, fourth, and fourth. You want a
And
top
and
five
and
pick?
I've seen one to have him at number 2.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Like, and I even seen one guy talking about how he was torn on whether or not to pick him at number 1. And I was just like, what are we doing? Like, this is the stuff that gets people fired. Like, don't do this. So my message to you, Terry, you know, Terry and I have a relationship. Well, I have a relationship with him in my mind. You know, he answers
He's
my
your friend in
questions
your head.
when I ask him to you. So well, I feel we have a relationship. So Terry, let me tell you something, man. Stay away from Travon Walker. No, that is not going to be the move. No, do not do that. This man doesn't even have 10 sacks in his career as a college football player. And you know,
Mhm.
it's 3 years that you got to stay in college to be there. So, hey, that's not his thing. Only time you drafting guys like that, a defensive lineman that high, that dude can get you double-digit sacks almost guaranteed. And
Yeah.
I just don't see it. You
Yeah.
know, so drafter beware, Terry. When it comes to Travon Walker.
Yeah. And I would say with him, another kind of interesting piece is the blessing and the curse of him moving around to different positions in his time at UGA. And the blessing of it is, okay, that shows that you probably have some football IQ, if you will, that allows you to be able to read the offenses at different positions and be able to have some type of impact. But then
Right.
there's the curse of that, because that same versatility that allows you to play everywhere kind of makes you a jack of all trades and maybe a master of none. And when I'm looking in
Better
that
preach,
top
sister.
5, top 10, yeah, I'm kind of looking for the master. I don't think I
Right.
want a jack of all trades if I'm at the number 8 spot, or like you said, in some cases where we've seen him at 2, 3, 4, and 4 for multiple mock drafts. Do you really want a jack of all trades that, to your point, isn't quite proven in one particular area? So yeah, I think now one name that I've seen come up a few times with the Falcons that may be a little bit more proven might be someone like a Kayvon Thibodeau, if you happen to have him available. And that's one of the edge. Yeah, that's one of the guys, that I've seen him on mock drafts, and I've read a little bit about him, and I'm thinking, okay, well, there you go with a proven commodity, a bit of a more proven commodity.
Yeah, speaking of proven commodity, how about Jonas Hayes being hired as the head coach of Georgia State University? How about that? You know, he replaces Rob Lanier, who just led the Georgia State Panthers to the NCAA tournament. As a matter of fact, they've made it 4 times since 2015.
Yes.
And the Georgia Bulldogs, they hired a guy too.
They
That
hired a guy.
Yeah, they hired a guy. Oh, that's it. He's a Jag. He's just another guy. Mike White. He's just
Yep.
another guy. And the last time the Georgia Bulldogs, made the NCAA tournament, it was in 2015 as well. And guess who was an assistant coach on that team?
Yes.
Jonas
Jonas
Hayes.
Hayes.
So Georgia, why? How did Georgia drop the ball on this one? This dude was right here in your backyard,
Right.
and you let Georgia State steal him right from up
Right.
into your thing? Or is it the fact that Georgia State is a better basketball program than you? You didn't think you were going to get Jonas Hayes.
Well, I would like to think that they thought that, but I don't think that's what they thought. I don't think they would ever admit to thinking Georgia State or acknowledging that Georgia State has a better basketball program, but it does. Let's just be real about that, because if you're getting to the NCAA tournament 4 times in 8 years, you are the better program. The end. But I think sometimes when it comes to bigger programs like the University of Georgia's athletics program overall, you go for what you think is a name. So Mike White might be a bigger name because maybe, coming from Florida, if you will, Mike White on paper might look like it's a bigger name. Right. But in actuality, when you start digging deeper into Jonas Hayes' background, and you think about a guy who just took over the team as an interim head coach a month ago, and all of a sudden 6.5 decades have passed since Xavier University of Ohio has won an NIT title, and you get him there? I mean, Georgia, did you even sniff the NCAA tournament? Did you even sniff the NIT? The top of the hill? Yeah.
Did you text them, hey, big head? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that might have been definitely a missed opportunity, if for no other reason, because Georgia looked at the big name and kind of saw shiny, when in actuality, maybe what you would consider a diamond in the rough because of the interim tag and him maybe not having that head coaching tag at a major program, might have actually lost you somebody who literally is going to a school that already has a reputation out there, already has a foundation that they have built on and can continue to build on. I think he's going to do some great things. And one more thing, I think having him be an Atlanta native and Georgia being that low key kind of, Georgia's like low key turning some solid basketball players. I believe he's about to put everybody on notice with their recruiting, and that includes Georgia Tech, and anybody else that's trying to recruit in the Atlanta metro area in high school basketball.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I wholeheartedly agree, and I think that when you think about the opportunity Georgia had to bring home, so to speak, one of their own. Like they did it in football, they did it with Kirby Smart. Why not? Yeah. Why not Jonas? Right. Yeah, man, Georgia, tis. You dropped the ball again. All right, coming up next, we will be talking about the Atlanta Hawks. They take an L to the Toronto Raptors last night. What does that mean? We'll discuss it next. All right, here on ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanitra.
We'll be back.